Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Appreciate you coming out. I just got back from a yard sale and had picked up this fine beauty. This is a Honda WX-10. It's a 4-stroke little portable water transfer pump. So bought this off a nice guy. He had been selling some of his dad's equipment, power equipment, router, some drills, a table saw, some other various things, and he had this for sale. I paid $15 for it. So he said his folks lived in North Georgia and used this little pump to get water out of their basement during the rainy season. So it hasn't been run in a while. He said there was no fuel in the tank. So we're going to add some fuel to this, see if we can get it to start. So I came home, did a quick Google search on this, and they retail for $450 roughly from the few places that I saw that carried these. Tractor Supply, I think, was one of them. So this weighs about 15 pounds, and the unit will pump 32 to 37 gallons a minute. And I believe it has a 26-foot pulling capacity. In other words, it'll lift 26 feet with its suction. So this comes with a 17-foot suction hose, but I didn't know this until after the fact. But the gentleman had cut off a big section of the hose. He kind of trimmed it down to, looks like maybe 5 or 6 feet instead of the 17 feet. So I've got everything set up here to try to run this. This container here has water in it, rainwater from one of my 3 rain barrels. I just transferred some water in here using buckets to try to get this thing to pump. So if it's pumping 32 gallons a minute, this is going to pump out of here in less than a minute, probably 20 seconds, 15 seconds, if that's the pumping rate, because this may be only 10 gallons or less in this bin. So the discharge side here has a regular hose size thread. So what I have here is just washing machine hose, just a short piece of washing machine hose hooked up here. Your intake, this is the exhaust. You prime it through here, never start the pump dry. I went ahead and removed the bottom drain plug here. There was a little bit of sediment. I washed it out with some fresh water. And this dauber's nest actually was in the hose. I thought it was a check valve. I couldn't really tell. And then I unclamped it here, shook it out, and it happened to be a dauber's nest. So I'm glad I removed this, or this would have pulled itself into the pump. So as with any pump, you want to minimize your sand intake. You don't want to have a bunch of sand chewing up your impeller. So right here, I've got a couple of buckets. I just have the one washing machine hose into one 5-gallon bucket, so we can monitor what this thing is putting out. He also sold this 24-inch rigid pipe wrench to me for $5. If I ever do any heavy duty work here, I thought $5 was a fantastic deal. He wanted 10. I said, I'll take it for 5 if you're willing to sell it, and he sold it for 5. So prior to that, the Green Lady and myself were having a discussion about life and life's complexities. And then I went to get you kids and cadets out of bed. So let's drink to that. Let's drink to life's complexities. So that's that. What do you say we put a little fuel in this thing? I've checked the oil already. So I say we fuel it, put some non-ethanol fuel in it, prime the pump, fill some clean water in here because this thing is bone dry. So let's see if my $15 investment was worth it. I think it will be. I think they were smart consumers, drained the gas out so the gas didn't gum up the carburetor. We're going to find out here momentarily. I actually found this on Facebook Marketplace under yard sales. He had shown 2 pictures of what he was selling. I saw this underneath the table with all the saws and drills and whatnot. So I said, I better run out there and see what this little pump's all about. And to my surprise, it was only priced at $15. He said he couldn't guarantee that it would start, that it's been a while since it was started. He was starting to slowly get rid of his dad's tools and equipment. So this is a 4-stroke. So we have engine oil in the crankcase, and you just use straight non-ethanol gas. There'll be no smoky exhaust. There won't be any mixing of fuel. So I put about a third of a tank full of gas. I think that'll be enough to try to start it. So that goes on. I have some clean water here in a 1-gallon jug. I'm just going to fill up the priming port here till it tops itself off. So according to the instructions that I saw, it will take a couple minutes for this to finally build up pressure. It'll push a little water, but it'll take I think up to 80 seconds, I read, for it to build up full pressure. So I've got my water level filled here to the top, put my cap back on. I've got my suction in the bottom of the bin, right below Mr. Rat. Mr. Snake is keeping an eye on things. If anything goes wrong, he's going to alert me. So let's try this here. Speed control is on turtle. It's slow. I've got my switch to the on position. My choke lever, put this up to choke. There is a priming bulb underneath the carburetor. I'll give that some action. The bulb is extremely stiff. I may have to change out the bulb. Actually, the bulb just disintegrated in my hand. I'll show you. So this thing's been sitting a long time. I don't even know the year of this thing, but let me see if I can show you. I'll have to get you down. The bulb was whole. I just put my finger on it and it just disintegrated. You can see that. So that didn't go as I wanted to. The lines look a little dark. These may be dried out and stiff as well. Yeah, I can feel them. They're pretty stiff, so I may need new fuel lines. The thing we could do is possibly pull off the spark plug, put a little gas in that, if I can even find out where the plug is located. It might be under this plastic cover. I don't see anything that resembles a plug from here, so that's unfortunate. I don't think it'll start without priming it, but since I'm this far into it, I'm just gonna pull and see what happens. What I may do is squirt some carb cleaner right into the intake. Just twisting this on its side, I poured some of the water out of the pump cavity here. Let me top this back off. Like so. Well, that was kind of unfortunate. I was hoping to get this thing to do something. I had brought out all this water and buckets and all this stuff to try to mess with this thing. Need an air filter too. That just crumbled. So definitely been sitting around for a while. We need an air filter and a primer bulb. So that's that. Let me put some carb cleaner in to try to fire it off. Highly flammable. Okay, I really put it right in there. I can smell the carb cleaner. That might not be enough. So we're dead. So that went right down the toilet like a big turd. I got to order parts. Yeah, it's kicking off, but there's not enough fuel in the carb to keep it going. You really got to prime the snot out of these to build up the fuel into the carburetor. The carb is dry as a bone. This little motivation isn't going to do anything. All the motivation is doing is telling us that this thing has the potential to run because it's kicking off. one more time. Getting it to run like this isn't going to pull fuel up into the carburetor. The primer bulb is what's going to do that. Yeah. So, sorry about that. It's got it looks like a production number, Golf Charlie Alpha Lima Tango 1026844. It's the Alpha Yankee 5 engine, the WX-10, made in Thailand. And let me see the production date, 2005. Conforms to all applicable regulations, 2005. So explains why the air filters crumbling. Touched the primer bulb once and it disintegrated in my hand. But it doesn't look like they use this thing like on a weekly basis. This thing was used, like the gentleman said, whenever the parents' basement was flooding or flooded, they used this to get the water out of the basement. So the exact model on this is the WX-10 K1A. Okay, I'll order some parts, come back at a later date, and hopefully we have this thing running again. My $15 investment didn't go as I had planned. We did get the dirt gobber out of the way, so that's not going to be an issue in the future. I'll water some plants with that. I'll rescue Mr. Snake and Mr. Rat. We'll make sure they get up here on safe and dry land. Anyway, thanks for coming out. I'm going to look for parts right now for this thing. See what I can come up with. The green lady and I'll look for parts. I'll order them. I'll do another video for you guys when this thing is ready to be started. Thanks. Have a good day. Tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. Appreciate you coming out. Sorry this was an uneventful video. Like I said, we'll try to mess with this WX-10 here in the near future. Have a good day today. All that stuff. Thanks. Have a good day. Come back and see me. Like and subscribe. And don't forget, have a good day.